What did someone say to you that instantly made you realize their life was in danger? I have a female fiend that was once in a relationship with a guy that when he began to drink he would start pushing her around and slapping her and abusing her physically and verbally. She finally left him and had her own place to live, but he would still come around her and harass her at different times. One afternoon she called me and said she was going to the store and asked if I needed anything she would pick it up and I could stop by after work and get it. I worked a little late that evening and didn't make it till after 9 p.m. When I got there I noticed her ex-boyfriend's car there. She had seen me pull up to the house and she met me at the door, and when I came in and saw her in the light I could see that she had been slapped in the face and her arms were red and her neck was also red like she had been chalked. I saw her ex sitting on the couch and a friend of his sitting in a chair in the living room with his phone playing a game. I walked right over to her ex and sat down right next to him so close that our arms were touching and said, "Hey buddy, how's it going?" My friend had been telling him to leave for a few hours but he wasn't leaving. She told me that he had broke a mirror at the end of the hall and had slapped her and held her up against a wall and off of her feet by her neck. She said she asked his friend to make him stop and he told her it was none of his business and did nothing. I want to add this before I go on. I was 66 years old when this happened and her ex was I believe 34 or 35 years old. My friend is pacing back and forth and I can see she is scared. She walks into the kitchen and her ex gets up and follows her in, and that's when I could tell by the sound of her voice telling him to stay away from her. Her voice had changed to a high pitch and I could hear panic in it. I'm still sitting on the couch and I tell her ex it's time to leave. He turns and looks at me pointing his finger. He says, "You shut the fuck up." By the time he get the word fuck out of his mouth I'm already hitting him in the face. I had in my mind his buddy was going to jump in and I would be fighting too, but as we traded punches and moved around the kitchen and living room his buddy was gone. We fought for about 15 minutes and I'll admit I had 2 black eyes, my lip was bleeding and had plenty of knots on my head, but so did he. We were the only people in the house by then. He had his arm around my neck and he was standing behind me chalking me, and that is a dangerous place to be. I had been fighting what I call clean up till then. I swung one arm down and hit him between his legs and grabbed his balls and squeezed as hard as I could. He started letting go and I turned and hit him hard in his solar plexus and knocked a little wind out of him. He stepped back and said, Stop, I don't want to fight anymore." I said, "Then leave like she told you to, or we are going to be fighting till you do." I may have lost the fight but I won the battle. My friend told me months later that he never bothered her anymore. I didn't want to get into that fight but later thinking about it I had to ask myself, what kind of man would I be if I had done nothing? I don't think I would be much of a man.